this week is Amazon hit a 30th birthday. And when we're doing the research, I kind of forget, first of all, how old it is, but also how Amazon started. So it all started in 1994 when Bezos moved from an investment banking role, saw the opportunity. And I love this stat, and I forgot about this stat. The real thing that piqued his interest was that the World Wide Web, as it was called back then, was growing 2,300% annually. So it was growing at a compounded rate. Obviously, now it's so omnipresent that we don't even think about it, but it was growing such a clip. That's what sparked his interest, and he kind of talks about it in his other things, like, I'd hate to have missed out on this, but a risk. And I guess it's easier when you're a VP at an investment bank, and you can always go back to some degree. But started with books, then expanded to CD and DVDs. They built a marketplace for third-party providers, AWS, Amazon Prime, etc., Whole Foods, and all these other different additional value props they've added on. And so it's grown incredibly well, and I'll touch a bit on this second around their diversification. But do you want to guess, in 2000, the revenue was $2.7 billion. Do you know how quickly they make that today?
I have no
2 days.
clue. 2 days?
2 days.
I was gonna go like certain months. 2 days?
So their revenue last year, I think, was $575 billion. They make $1.5 billion a day. So
wow.
They do what they did 24 years ago in 2 days. So, and that's obviously two full days, or two, not including working days.
I will say one thing really quickly is when you were just giving that little intro.
Yeah.
At first I was thinking, wow, 30 years have been going for a long time. And then you gave that intro and I was thinking, holy shit, how much have they achieved in just 30 years?
Incredible.
Unbelievable.
It's because I think of the older generation right before that, like the GEs, a bit of the Walmarts as well, that were these big conglomerates. But like, it was amazing when their value was like 60 billion and 80 billion or something like that. These are just new, and you kind of saw them fall out of this, where there was always a bit of horse trading at the top end of that. But now, like, if anything, the last 3 years, those bigger companies have only gotten bigger. And that was actually one of the themes I wanted to explore a little bit, is that it's rare to see this level of growth when you're that big, percentage-wise. So I was looking at their numbers. They did around between 10 to 12% over the last 3 years on average. And there's some years where it's 22%, 24%, other ones where it's slightly less. And it's rare to see that just like real expansion when you're already making $400 billion a year. So, and I think it goes a little bit to how well they've diversified a little bit. And I have the numbers here. So the direct consumer sales from like Amazon specifically only brings in around just under 40% of their overall revenue. They get 20, and this is quarterly, sorry. So they get around, I'll do the numbers annually now, around 100 billion from AWS. They get just under 50 billion from advertising. They're an advertising giant that we just completely forget about. And subscriptions are around, again, just shy of 50 billion as well. And then there's other services as well, like the physical goods with that. So they are actually like semi-diversified. Now, I have some ideas on the opportunities and risks going forward, but what do you think about Amazon over the next 5-10 years? Maybe not 30, because that's too hard to advance out.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this almost 10 years out sort of scenario. And considering the types of businesses that they're in, the trends that we're seeing with kind of data and personal devices and things like that, the fact that they have some personal devices already in people's homes, there were sort of 3 ideas that I came up with. One of them definitely very out there. One is an extrapolation of the current trends, and an obvious one, AI-powered kind of personal shopping assistant. With all of their data and tools, they can see that Tristan's about to go out next week and he's going to an event at night. He'll probably want an outfit like this, given his taste. How about Tristan? Here you go. What do you reckon? The next thing is more around Tristan's well-being. So the idea of an integrated AI health and wellness ecosystem. So again, you use their tools. We've talked about this with Varun before as well, but also the idea that they've got an Alexa, assuming it continues to live on. I'm sure they will invest and make it better, but it's just in your house, and they've got the camera devices and whatnot. So maybe it could actually just be scanning you and giving you input on your health and coaching you. And then the last one is a little bit out there, is smart cities that are built through the infrastructure of AWS and Amazon at large.
Yeah, so it kind of touched on a few that I saw as well. So I think I'll first touch on AI as just a general theme, both on their bets within Anthropic, and they kind of have a version of theirs, but I think they've largely outsourced it via funding towards it, if that does something, or chips. Again, they've really doubled down more, and I think they want to compete with NVIDIA and actually have more of a foothold there. So that could be an opportunity to grow. Emerging markets are not really in Brazil and India as much as they could be. So new expansion of their old products into new markets. Subscriptions and media, again, they continue to double down on Prime. They're going to add more to that content. I think we talked about sports being streamed as well. They're more aggressively than most doing the Premier League, doing baseball for back in the States as well. So I think those are the opportunities in the immediate. Risk-wise, Temu and Shein cutting them down on price, and they're trying to counter that already with a low-cost option. And secondly, it's just that AWS is getting more competitive. Azure, Google Cloud are starting to really take more of that market share. So who knows where they are in the next 5-10 years, but I would say from 0 to 575 billion over 3 decades